Hey everyone, how's it going? I wanted to take a moment in the day to just appreciate how far technology has come. I mean, just the fact that you're watching this and the fact that now we have computers in our lives that are assisting us through no matter what we do, and they're all around us. So anytime I need something to help with, I can just say, hey Google.
I can't reach the internet right now. Check your modem or router connection and try again.
It's just incredible. It's amazing how far technology has come. Every time you want to ask something, anytime you're thinking like, oh, what does a whale sound like? I can say, hey Google, what does a whale sound like?
Internet right now. Check your modem or router connection and try again.
I'm not sure what species of whale that is. Now, hey everyone, I know I don't usually record with this camera. This is actually the old camera I used to record my tech videos with. But the reason I wanted to record part of this vlog with this camera was because I want to show you something on my iPhone 10. Because finally, one of the biggest features I was most looking forward to when upgrading to iOS 11 all of those months ago, way back in June, was the fact that messages would finally be available on iCloud. And now with the developer beta out with iOS 11.3, it's finally happened. Look, messages on iCloud. In fact, I've already screen recorded it as it was taking place, so I hit use iCloud, and then at the bottom it says syncing messages with iCloud. It only takes a couple of minutes, and now everything's backed up. And I believe now that messages are no longer stored on the device itself. I know that this is kind of techie related, but I don't know if I should make an entire video on this. If I should, let me know in the comments. But there's an easy way I could check this here. I can simply go to General and look at Storage. I'm curious if it's starting to offload all of my iMessages into the cloud. And if I'm assuming correctly here, it has a list of all the apps that are taking up the most storage, and Messages is no longer there. It says review large attachments at the top with the Messages icon, but when I look inside, the highest image file I've recorded was a video file that's only 37 megabytes. So what I think that means is it's pushing all of the pictures and videos that I had in my messages that I sent to other people, and is now pushing them up to iCloud, meaning they no longer have to be stored on the device itself. See, Infinity Blade 3 being 3 gigs at the top, scrolling down. Infinity Blade 3, by the way, not optimized for the iPhone 10, and I don't know why, but still, scrolling all the way down to the phone at 2.5 megabytes in messages is still not listed, which that means if you're able to update to iOS 11.3, you could save a lot of storage if you text a lot of people pictures. And now if iCloud Messages is what they say it is, when you get a new phone and you get a new SIM card, even as long as you sign into your Apple ID, all of your old messages will be transferred over just like Facebook Messenger, which I have wanted for a long time. The other big change they're doing with 11.3 apparently is taking off entirely the down throttle option on older iPhones. So on older smartphones like the iPhone 6, you would get a Geekbench single core score of around 900, whereas when you first got the phone it would be closer to 1400. And Apple did say that they were working on a method of showing you how your battery's health is doing on your smartphone and if it needs to be replaced. But as of this new update, there is not an option to down throttle or to not down throttle. They simply turned it off, meaning that hopefully as soon as this iPhone 6 Plus comes back online, it is going to be as fast as it was on day one, even if that hurts the long-termness of the battery. I don't think I like that. I'm kind of concerned why Apple decided that, at least for the beta program, that doesn't matter if this operating system hurts your battery life on your old phone, you're just going to have a fully 100% running CPU. But I'm curious to see if it runs noticeably better. And of course there's a couple more hidden treats within iOS 11.3, which is of course Animoji. And now I have definitely found my new favorite one, which is the dragon. I love all of the motions that he makes with his like fangs there, which is the dragon. I love all of the motions that he makes with his I knew they were going to add some later, but and now and you can switch it to other ones. New favorite one, which is the dragon. I love all of the I didn't realize you could record an Animoji and then change it to a different person afterwards. So they had that lion, and now they have the skeleton, which it's kind of hard to see if it actually articulates the lips, but it reminds me of that Coco movie that just came out. And now they have the skeleton. And the teddy bear, of course. It's kind of hard to see if it actually articulates the lips. So I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm very excited that they're actually including iCloud Messages on iOS 11. Finally. Took them a long time. So I've been thinking about that joke I made at the beginning of this vlog with the Google Home Max being stupid. So I don't know if I've told you about this. This may be repetitive, but for one thing, we tried turning the Home Max into a dedicated just speaker for the TV. We just use an audio jack cord from the Home Max to the television, and that was extremely quiet. The Home Max would not get loud no matter what we tried, and also it was about a 3-second delay, so the latency was horrible. It was unusable. So we can't even use it as an offline device. And the Bluetooth pairing on it is finicky. Sometimes our phone can pair to it in a Bluetooth format and it'll work, and sometimes it doesn't. And after all that, I have to stop and think, like, maybe I shouldn't have a Home Max, given that the HomePods just got a release date. Today is Wednesday when I'm recording this, which means that tomorrow I'll be gearing up for the midnight live stream where we pre-order the HomePod, and I'm debating maybe I should sell the Home Max at a lower price than what I paid for it and then buy a second HomePod. I'm definitely getting a HomePod regardless, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. Should I buy one HomePod and then compare it to the Home Max so we get an idea of the sound quality difference, or should I just sell the Home Max right now and then buy two HomePods this Friday when the pre-orders begin? I don't know. I've been reading some interesting things people have said about the HomePod, which people who are testing it know about it right now. And some people are saying, well, the Home Max is cool, the HomePod has a whole different level of immersion. Now, I don't know what that means, but I'm very, very excited for these next 2 weeks because on February 9th, when we get them, I'll be very much looking forward to trying them out.